Do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once?
That is the question. Do you have time to listen to me whine? Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Nosebleeds. I'm Chris Witt, and in front of me, as always, is the man who never ages, Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today, sir?
I am remarkable.
Remarkable.
How are you?
If I was any better, I'd be you.
Speaking of whining, I'm going to be doing a little whining later on.
I think this is going to happen. I think there might be a little bit today. We got a fun little segment we're going to do today that's a little different than the norm for us. So look out for that. It's coming up maybe before we get to the NBA, after the Reds.
Sure.
So anyway, we're a couple cousins here. We like to talk about sports, and we want to thank everyone who listens to us. You can find us on Facebook at the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. Look us up, comment, and we'll interact with you, give you a shout-out the next week on the show, and tell you what we think about whatever you had to say. So, Adam, we are from Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get to these NBA Finals, let's get started with the Cincinnati Reds, because there's been some good and there's been a lot of bad.
There has been.
So let's start. What do you want? Let's start off with the bad. What do you say?
Yeah, and the bad is pitching. So the starting rotation is really the bad part because the bullpen's been pretty good.
Right.
For the most part. So the starting rotation, right now the five guys you have are Bailey, Romano, Homer Bailey, Sal Romano, Tyler Mahle, Matt Harvey, and Luis Castillo.
My favorite guy.
Now here's the thing. So really I almost said those in order of worst to best. Almost. Harvey's actually been the best, but he's only pitched in 4 games so far, and I know you hate hearing that, but he's been.
It is what it is.
It's
the truth.
Right. He's only pitched in 4 games, so we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. But right now, Homer Bailey, let's just get right to it. He's been the worst starting pitcher for the Reds and in maybe Major League Baseball.
I'd say he's probably the worst. He's sitting at a 6.68 ERA right now. I mean, he's just barely sub 7. And Sal Romano's not much better, but so in Sal Romano's case, you can send him down to the minors and bring somebody up here, bring another arm up to get some time in. But with a guy like Homer Bailey, you can't we've talked about this before. You can't send him down. You designate him for assignment, and then there's all this waivers garbage, and you can make a trade and all this other stuff that goes down. So what do you do with him at this point in time? We talked about putting him into the bullpen, but it just seems like they don't want to even think about something like that.
Well, they're going to have to think about something like that because Anthony DeSclafani is ready right now to come off the DL. He pitched today in Louisville. And that was before that one. They were saying it was going to be 1, maybe 2 at the most more rehab starts before he comes back from that oblique injury.
Right.
So he pitched tonight. That was his 1 more. If they do anything else, it'll be 1 more in 5 days, and then he'll be up. And then they have in the next week at least.
You're going to
have to make a decision.
So who's the move? So what's the first move that's made when Disco comes back? Who's the guy who's the first one out of this rotation? Is it Romano or is it Bailey? Because those are the only 2 that are really your options right now because Mahle's not coming out. He's been probably your best pitcher this year.
Yeah.
Castillo is the most electric and has the most potential.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to keep him in the lineup as long as you possibly can.
Right.
Obviously, you're going to continue with Harvey, so it's between Sal and Homer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's so hard because it seems like, okay, the obvious, just easy thing to do is throw Homer in the bullpen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that means somebody in the bullpen. Most of the guys have pitched pretty well in the bullpen that are on the active roster right now. Have pitched pretty well. I would say Jackson Stevens might be the odd man out there if they have to make a decision like that, but he hasn't been all that bad lately. So it seems like Bailey should probably be, because he is without question the way, and Romano hasn't been good either, but actually looking at their numbers, Bailey is definitely worse. Has been, and he's been worse lately too.
Right.
I mean, he had a couple pretty good starts in the beginning of the year, and his his 6.68 ERA is including those couple of pretty good starts.
He's given up more home runs than anybody in baseball this year.
Yeah, and as an entire staff, the Reds lead Major League Baseball
by far
in giving up home runs,
Yeah.
right? So, and I think three of the guys are in the top 5 or 6 in baseball giving up home runs. So that's been a big problem. Walks have been a problem, but definitely home runs. I mean, they're just flat out giving up earned runs, and it's not. That's the other thing. It's not like they're a terrible defensive team. They're pitching poorly and they're getting hit hard. So I don't want to just say, okay, let's just do the easy thing, but I think that is the thing. I think you put Bailey in the bullpen right now.
All right, so then who's out of the bullpen then?
Probably Jackson Stevens.
And there's a few guys that what it is what it is. You get sent. You're going to get sent down. They're going to get sent down at some point in time.
He's 24 years old. He'll come back up, right?
And speaking of getting sent down, so have you seen the latest thing with Brandon Finnegan? What Finnegan said?
Yes,
he was not
happy about it.
He actually came out and voiced his disappointment in Jim Riggleman for sending him down. And since he's been in AAA, have you seen what his ERA is?
I have not seen it.
It's over 6.
Well,
so here's the deal. Listen, I love Brandon Finnegan. He's that horse guy, he just looks like a tough dude out on the mound, and I've always liked him, the big lefty. But keep your mouth shut. What are you doing? You're over 6. Well, you know what? Here's the deal. Homer Bailey, who he's obviously talking about in this, we can't just send him down.
Right.
We can send you down, big boy, and you ain't pitching any better than he is anyway. Get AAA hitters out. Get yourself healthy. Then come up and you can earn what you think you earned in the one decent year that you had.
Absolutely. So he he's dug himself a little hole there. We might not see him until September, if that.
Right.
Again. So
yeah. Especially, why would you say that about your?
Yeah.
I mean, you're just asking for them to not do anything with you now. Now that they're going to overlook you all the time. All right. So anyway, I just thought that was funny. So back to this rotation. So obviously he's not going to be coming back into the rotation. So you still have Sal. Sal can't keep pitching in this rotation. There's no way you can continue to let him. So he's got to do one of the two things. You can send him down. He's got options, or you put him in the bullpen. Now, in my head, what I would do is I send him down to AAA because I don't want him working out of the bullpen. I want him to get it figured out on the mound. Send him down there, bring up an arm, and whatever arm you got down there that's not good but not bad, that can come up, and you get Garrett back in this. Get him back in this rotation. There's so many opportunities right now, and they're not doing it.
I agree with you, and I would love to see Amir Garrett back in the rotation. Who knows? Maybe he gets back in there and struggles again. Okay, but you'll find out. He's still too young and too good to not give him another shot in the rotation. And Sal Romano might go down, might go to the bullpen, whatever they decide. He's 24 too.
Exactly.
And he's going to get another opportunity as well, as long as he doesn't, just tank from here on out. But I agree with you. And that was really the first thought I had. If they're only going to make one move, in the rotation, I would say Bailey is probably it. But I'm totally fine. I mean, I'm good with moving Bailey to the bullpen, taking Sal Romano, sending him to AAA, work on some stuff, figure out what you're doing here, and then getting DeSclafani in. And we'll see. He hasn't pitched in Major League Baseball since September 2016.
Exactly.
He might come up and be terrible too. But you got to give him, we talked briefly about this yesterday, but I don't think you lose your job because you were injured, right?
Yeah, sure. And we talked about that in the joke. Obviously Cal Ripken Jr. came in for a guy who was injured, or Lou Gehrig came in for a guy who was injured. You can lose your job due to injury. However, that's a superstar kind of situation. The Reds don't have a superstar in this starting lineup,
right?
So in this starting rotation. So yes, bring him in, give him his opportunity to get back in there. He's worked hard, done it. You got guys that are sucking up the joint. Give him. This is your opportunity. It's not like we're in some kind of pennant race right now. Give him his opportunity. Let him pitch. But I think it's Bailey to the bullpen, but I think that this team is scared of Homer Bailey. I think they're scared to tell him anything or to ask him to do something because they're afraid what's going to happen.
And you know what? I can understand that, I guess I should say, because
He's kind of a dick.
he is kind of, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Sorry.
He has that aura about him that he, at any time could get mad and just like kind of, be rude to you or snap or whatever, If he's not pleased with what's going on, and I'm sure he's not with the way he's pitching right now.
Sure.
So he's already going to be ornery.
Yeah.
But if you tell him, okay, you're not doing very well, you're certainly not doing well enough to really keep pitching in the rotation, we're going to try you in the bullpen. He very well might, have a big problem with that. And, maybe he goes in there and tries. Maybe he doesn't because he's mad. Maybe
He strikes me as a guy who knows in his head that he's sucking right now. And it's probably pissing him off more than it's pissing anybody off.
Sure.
But he's that guy where when that's happening, he's not going to be like, yeah, I really do need to get working on something. This is wrong, blah, blah, blah. He strikes me as a guy who is already on the edge. And the second you say something about how bad he's doing, well, yeah, I know I'm doing bad. Back the hell up. I'll get it taken care of kind of a guy.
Exactly. And he's a very
maybe
stubborn.
That's why I probably don't like him.
Yeah, he's a very stubborn guy. And we saw that early in his career, too, when he would shake catchers off and stuff like, he was shaking Ryan Hannigan off. And Ryan Hannigan was always right.
Yes.
He was always right. He was a baseball phenom. I
feel like Tucker
genius.
Barnhart is getting there.
And Tucker Barnhart, that's what I love so much about Tucker Barnhart because he reminds me so much of Ryan Hannigan.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know how silly it is for me to love a 250 hitting catcher or whatever.
Two of them actually.
Yeah,
now
right.
you're in love with two of them.
Tucker's at 261, and he's been pretty nice in that 2-hole too. For the
He
last
has.
couple weeks, they
He
put him in
has.
the 2-hole,
Well-
and he's been pretty good. He gets on base, he handles the bat well.
He does, and that's the thing. He makes contact, and that's all you need. Just get up there, make contact, and that'll do it for you. Speaking of Tucker Barnhart, though, how about Scooter Gennett?
Speaking of Tucker Barnhart, Scooter Gennett.
That's the way I move into it. I feel unless you have more you want to talk
No,
about
no.
this rotation
Hey,
because I feel like we can only say the same things
we transitioned
about
right
these
in,
guys.
We transitioned right into the offense. That was perfect. Scooter Gennett. Look, last week he was the National League Player of the Week for the second time in what, three?
I think it
or
was 2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row?
I think he got it 2 weeks in a row. It was either 2 weeks in a row or 2 out of 3.
I think it might have been 2 out of 3, but you might be right. So
That's
he
Adam's way of saying, Chris, you're wrong. It was 2 out of 3. I know it for a fact. That's the way he does it.
You really know me very
You're so
well.
nice. You're so nice.
I don't know about that. But look, so sorry. See, there we go.
Tucker Gennett.
Tucker Gennett was National League Player of the Week last week. Scooter Gennett is up to 343, which is good for second best in Major League Baseball, best in the National League as far as batting average goes. He last week in that they played 6 games, he was 12 for 25, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs in 6 games. He had a home run and multiple RBIs in 4 straight games. He had that stretch where I think it was like 7 straight hits because he had the 5-for-5 game, and he had, I think, his first 2 times on the next game he was on.
Yep.
So it was at least 7 straight hits in plate appearances. That's very stuff.
Yeah, it's exactly correct.
So anyway,
young people, that was a guy. That was a gentleman who played the outfield for the Cincinnati Reds when they were in the World Series last.
Also, young people, possibly the Reds' next manager next year.
Yeah, we'll see.
So Scooter Gennett has been white hot. I think is better than red hot.
Like
but
that.
what's bigger
Blue
than
hot.
white hot?
He's
blue
blue
hot.
hot.
That's true.
He's
That's
blue
true.
hot.
That blue flame is
That's
as
right,
hot
buddy.
as it gets right there. So Scooter's blue hot. Scooter's blue hot. All right, and
he's in the top 10. I'm looking at this. He's in the top 10 in almost every statistical category in the National League right now.
Yeah. Unless he just like has the drop off of a lifetime, he's got to be an all-star, right?
Well, he'll be an all-star no matter what happens. Right now, he is an all-star, whether he's voted in or he will be placed in. Right now, there's no doubt.
There's another month and a half, probably 5 weeks,
It'd
5
be
or 6
it'd be
weeks.
tough for him. And he's
Yeah.
been consistent. This is a 2-year thing. He's
Yeah,
been doing this
right,
for 2 years.
Right, and he was terrific last year. He was so good that, Jose Peraza was struggling a little bit at second base last year, and Scooter Gennett, they spelled him to give him to give him a break, and Scooter Gennett played so well that he
Couldn't
took
take
over.
him out.
Yeah, he took over the second base job.
Couldn't take him out.
And so, yeah, so he, in really a partial year, Scooter was a leader in almost every category on the team, except obviously for like on base percentage, but because Joey Votto will own that until he dies. But so Scooter has been, so yeah, we're going on a year and a half almost, basically. It's been a year.
Yeah.
That Scooter's been.
And Joey Votto led in every single offensive statistic category for the Reds last year. Jeanette might have been
Scooter
second.
was way up there, though. He was way up there, yeah. Yeah, and the numbers he put up for the time that he played, because he didn't play at the beginning of the year that much. He was a bench player. But so what the numbers that he put up were terrific. So Scooter Gennett has been so good this year that there's been talk about, do you trade the guy?
Well,
what do you do?
So it's not just trading. I feel like you have two options here. He's 28 years old. You figure you got, if this is who he's going to be, you got 4 years, 3 to 4 years of good service time left.
At least.
Through his prime.
Mm-hmm.
28 to 34 seems to be like the Major League Baseball prime.
Yes.
So, in that case, do you think this team has an opportunity to get to that next level in the next 3 to 4 years? So it's not just, do you trade him while his stock's high? Is this one of the guys that while he's just on the brink of having this kind of year, that maybe you sign him instead of trade him? Mm-hmm. So it's tough, because I would love to see Scooter Gennett's one of those guys that Reds fans just love. He's a hustler. He's that nose to the grindstone, get there every day, just play your butt off, and not underachiever, underrated, good guy. Mm-hmm. So Bob Castellini, who is the biggest Reds fan in the world, will probably sign him instead of trade him.
Do you think so?
Yeah, he's the one who.
Well, he's not making the decision to trade him.
I don't. He's the one who's going to tell you there's a reason Billy Hamilton's still on this team, and it's because of him. They had a deal done with the Giants, and not Jocketty. What's this guy? The ding dong's name that took over after Jocketty was gone.
Dick Williams.
Dick Williams came out and said, that he was told, that wasn't enough for Billy by the owner of the company. And the owner of the company said he wants Billy Hamilton to be a Red for his entire career. He's the only one in Cincinnati that wants Billy Hamilton to be a Red for his entire career.
He's one of two.
One of two, yes, that is correct. And the other one is the old man sitting directly across from me.
So back to Scooter, though.
Okay.
So what do you do, though? You know what you think Castellini's going to do. What do you do if you are the general manager? You have the decision to make on what to do with Scooter Gennett.
Well, at this point in time, you got a lot of prospects down in the minors that are third basemen, shortstops, guys that can play in that middle infield area. I say our starting pitching is not where I thought it was going to be at this point in time. I don't feel like we know anything for the future, except for maybe Castillo, who really hasn't even been pitching that great. That's the one sure guy right now, because Romano's looking terrible. Harvey's not going to be with this team, I hope. I don't know. I got mixed opinions about Harvey now. Mm-hmm. I think you got to get rid of him. I think this is the perfect opportunity to trade him, shake his hand, say, Scooter, we love you. He'll get a standing ovation whenever he comes to Cincinnati. But this is the time. This is the time to do it. I think this is the only way you're going to get something for him, because in 3 to 4 years, we might still suck. And it'd be no point in giving him a bunch of money and letting him stand out on the field. You already got it locked up in Votto. Let's just go from there.
So we've agreed on a lot of stuff.
You disagree
recently.
here.
I disagree here.
You want to sign him.
Here's the thing. So when I was
Tell
a
me,
younger
Mr. Castellini. What's his name?
Bob Castellini.
Castellini.
Yeah. When I was a younger baseball fan, I got so involved in the fan favorite stuff and the guys like Scooter Gennett, and I could go through a whole Ryan Friel, a whole list of guys.
Braggs. Well.
Yeah, Glenn Braggs.
I want that.
You threw in
like
there.
that?
Good for you.
Yeah, break a bat. Hey, you see a guy check a swing and break a bat. That's pretty ridiculous.
Glenn Braggs is the strongest man to ever play for the Reds.
Yes.
So Scooter Gennett, though, is a very strong guy
incredibly
as
strong.
for his size. But so look, when I was a younger baseball fan, I would say, oh, you can't trade away your good player, right? You obviously can't trade away your good player. Now, as I've evolved as a fan, and as basically that just means as I've gotten old.
Yeah.
I've changed my opinion on that. So in the last couple of years, the Reds have traded away guys like Todd Frazier and Jay Bruce and guys that were pretty good ball players that fans loved and all that kind of stuff. And I was good with it. I was totally fine. I even encouraged it because if that's what we needed to do, if we were not winning, I keep saying I don't want to say we, if the Reds keep winning.
You're a fan of them. I hate that people don't allow you to say we. My God, you're a fan. Why can't I be a fan and say we?
It's easy.
I know I don't play for the Reds. Who cares? They're my team.
Maybe we'll get into that next week. That's a good topic to get in next week.
I'll write it down.
So as I've gotten older, I've gotten more. I feel like I want to be think logically and stuff like that, and what's best for the organization, what's going to help us win. We're not winning this year with these guys or the last couple of years with these guys. What's going to help us win? Help us start building a team that's going to win in the next couple of years. So normally I would be fine. I would say yes. Scooter Gennett's stock will never get higher than this. Trade him. See what you can get. Get a really good pitching prospect. Get a draft pick or get a first round draft pick or whatever you can get for him.
Yeah.
Right now, this is one case where I don't feel that way. So Scooter Gennett, like you said, is 28 years old. That's not very old. Like you said, and that's the thing is a lot of people will say, but look what he did in Milwaukee. He wasn't that good in Milwaukee. They let him go. He was what? 23, 24, 25, 26.
He was young.
A lot of guys, like you said before, about 27, 28, 29, really hit their stride, really hit their, really get it. Something happens where they're in the game long enough where they figure out what best approach for them to take is, how to go about their work every day. Something clicks for guys in their late 20s a lot of times. I think that could be the case here. I could be 100% wrong about that. He could have a great next month and then hit 200 for the rest of the year. That could happen.
Sure.
I mean, we've seen that happen plenty of times in baseball. But the way he's hit last year, the way he's on fire this year, his age, just the way he's playing, I just feel differently about this for some reason. I think it makes sense to sign him. And I don't mean this year at the end of the year. I think you sign a contract tomorrow for the next
if you're going to
3
do
or 4 years.
You need to do it soon.
And not beyond 3 or 4 years. Get him to sign because because I think you can it's still early enough in his success that you don't pay him a ridiculous amount of money. Like if he continues the way he is now and makes it through the end of this year, through whatever, when his contract comes back up, you're gonna have to trade him in his contract year because you're not going to be able to afford what somebody else is going to be able to pay him.
Exactly.
If he continues at the pace now. So I think you get a good deal for both sides going, like they did a couple of times. I think they did with, I want to say like the first Brandon Phillips contract was like that, where they didn't break the bank for him, and he was really good for the, and I think when they signed him again, they overpaid him.
He demanded it.
Right, yeah. But in this case, I just feel like it's the right thing to keep Scooter Gennett around and sign him for another 3 or 4 years, and then you know, in a lot of cases now, you're going to sign guys. You're going to have to put an extra year or two and an extra couple $1 million on the end of a contract that you know you're probably going to lose.
Yep.
You know, same way with Votto. I mean, you know, he's still incredible, but at the end of his 10-year contract that he signed, he's going to be 40, and you know, he's probably not going to produce at the same rate he's producing now. And I think they know that, and they're going to lose. They're not going to get the value that they want at that time. Sign Jeanette right now for a couple of years, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, even if it takes that, at a reasonable price, and see what you get. If it ends up being a bad one, a bad contract, okay.
Just another bad
You're
contract.
getting rid of Homer Bailey next year or whatever anyway. So that big one's gone.
All right, so I agree. I don't agree. I think they should trade him. That's what I think they should do. If they sign him, I have no problem with that. I don't think that's a bad thing, as long as you believe that this team is going to be good in that amount of time. Otherwise, you're giving a guy money that you could split up between 4 prospects, 5 prospects or more, and work them out. That's where I'm coming from. I know the guy's good, and I believe he deserves that money, and we could have him through his prime. But having him through his prime and paying him that money, if we're going to suck, does nothing for the Reds. So I think you got to be halfway smart about it. If you feel we're going to be good, if you feel that somehow this rotation is going to kick itself around, then that's what then go ahead and do it. But at this point, the way this rotation looks right now, I don't know that we are 2-3 years away from being a playoff contender.
I still believe that, as bad as they are right now, I do still believe that, because your guys, so you have so Bailey is not part of your future, all right? So
No.
whether he goes to the bullpen, whether they keep him in the rotation for the rest of this year, he's not part of your future in the next couple of years. So Sal Romano is not good right now. He's 24 years old. He's pitched less than a year of service time, I think. Tyler Mahle is 23. Matt Harvey, who is going to be, if Bailey is out of the rotation, is going to be your most veteran, oldest guy at 29. And he's not part of the future either. Let's be honest.
I don't know that they think that yet.
Well, and they might not, and I think that's fair too if they don't think that yet, because you got to see what you get, I think, for the rest of the year from him. If he's really good the rest of the year, then you have to hold on to him, or maybe he's really good for a while and you flip him for something else or whatever.
Right.
Either way, I don't think he's part of the future for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, right? But we'll see. Castillo is 25, right? These guys, and you have your Finnegans and a couple other guys that are in the minor leagues right now that either have had a cup of coffee or they will probably sometime soon through injuries or whatever, that are still really young and still have that potential and still could work their way into being a good pitcher in Major League Baseball. So I think maybe by the end of next season, if it's the rotation is this bad still, then okay, maybe you start looking at, whatever, you got to, now bring a new batch of pitchers in. Now get crazy in the draft and draft every single. If I was a,
that's what I'm
if
saying.
I was
So
a
you
GM,
don't know. So you don't know. So you still don't know.
Well,
if you don't know, then we can't sign. Then you can't sign Scooter Gennett.
But that's what I'm saying is of course they don't know. But that's what you do. But that's the thing. Like, I don't want to continuing fire sale all the time where you're constantly
getting rid of Scooter Gennett is not a fire sale.
Well, but it's not. Okay, fire sale might not be the best term, but
getting rid of your best players for draft picks. That's what you don't want to continue
because
to do.
that's and like I said, I'm normally okay with that, just not in this case. It just feels excuse me, it just feels different to me. I'm getting choked up about Scooter Gennett.
I know. I feel bad for you. Need a drink of water?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Listen, so I just don't think – I think they're still young enough where they can develop these guys that they have right now that aren't good right now. But I think we've seen before that guys have to – the Detroit Tigers 10 years ago or something now had 2 guys that lost 20 games in a season.
And one of them now has a almost sub-1 ERA.
And 2 years later, I think 2 or 3 years later, they were in the World Series, and those guys were pitching.
Yeah.
And so those guys were really young then. I think Jeremy Bonderman was one, and
Justin Verlander.
Justin Verlander. So I just think it's too early. That's what I mean. Is I don't think you have to trade Jeanette or whoever else you want to trade. We could have the same conversation about Eugenio Suarez right now too. Honestly, he's been terrific.
Sure,
as well.
it's not about it. I don't think it's about okay, guys playing really well, trade him for something. I don't think that's what it's about. I think it's about I'm not paying this guy anything, and he's doing this well. I have the potential to get rid of him, save money, and get a ton back in return for what you got for him, or for what it took to get him. Suarez may not be the same way. Suarez was a draft pick. He was a high draft pick. So, you spent some money on that already. You spent something for that. You're going to hold on to that. You didn't spend a dime you didn't spend nothing. You picked him up off waivers at the beginning of this last season for Scooter Gennett. You didn't get. I mean, you are playing with house money with that. If you can flip that, turn it around, why wouldn't you? That's just what I think.
Because I think he's entering his prime. I think he's maybe not this good, but a really good baseball player. I think he's just turned himself into a good player now, and I think that's why.
Isn't he a Cincinnati guy?
He is, yeah. He was born in one of the suburbs, but that's why I mean. I think you sign him tomorrow to a deal that's reasonable before you have to sign him either to a much larger deal or trade him anyway. And look, even if you sign him for 5 years and you decide to trade him either at the trade deadline this year or the trade deadline next year if he's still hitting really well, you're still going to get, because you're not paying him. If you make the right deal, you're going to have people interested in trading for him still, because his contract's not going to be out of control. And for that reason, I think the pitchers right now are young enough where you have to be a little bit patient for another year or so.
Oh, you got to be patient for a couple. I agree with that.
Without just keep loading, I think load your system up all the time with as much good pitching prospects as you can. But right now, there are a lot of guys that are young guys. Even some of those guys, Amir Garrett, or even a couple other guys in the bullpen, could potentially still start if you need them to. And those guys are young too. So anyway, we don't want to spend too much more time on this.
All right, so this is it. I mean, he signed a 1-year deal for $5.7 million.
Well, there you
go. So this is it. I mean, you either get rid of him now, or you're gonna have to pay him at the end of the year.
You will. And if you wait till the end of the year, it'll be different, I think, than if you pay him right now. Or it could have a reverse effect, and he could kind of drop off a little bit, But
then it says he's a free agent in 2020, so he must still be under arbitration or something.
That could be the case. I feel irresponsible for not looking all that up before, but
arbitration, yes. His third year that's his last arbitration year is next year. So this is where you have his contract. But if he has a year like this and goes nuts, you're going to get killed in arbitration.
Sure you will. But that's what they do sometimes, is sign a guy ahead of time because you likely could have to pay him more in arbitration.
Right. All right. So Scooter Gennett's a pretty good-looking guy, right? He probably doesn't have any issues getting out and finding ladies.
Suppose so.
I mean,
is he married? Maybe he's married. I don't.
He may be.
No
I'm not sure. In fact, I'm looking at this, and the picture of Scooter Gennett on this picture looks absolutely nothing like what he actually looks like. Either way, so pretty decent guy. We had a little conversation the other day. So I'm married. I have 3 kids. My cousin Adam here is still a eligible bachelor, maybe the most eligible bachelor in the Cincinnati tri-state area. It's a possibility. I mean, good-looking guy. He's about shade under 6 foot. He's we're right? What are you? 5'11"?
Yeah, we'll say a
5'10"?
shade. We'll say a shade.
5'10" and a half.
Let's go with a
He's
shade.
a shade under 6 foot.
That's
He's,
much safer than
the
what
guy
reality.
doesn't have an ounce of fat on his body. He's in good shape, good looking guy. A heck of a head of hair on him. He could grow a beard in less than a day. He's got to shave twice a day. I mean, he's a grown man, and he looks like a good grown man. So we get into this thing nowadays. It's hard to date people, right? It's hard.
Dating is maybe the worst thing on the planet.
I feel for you, brother. I feel for you. So I'm gonna let you vent for a minute. I want to ask you, when you go on to your Tinder, Bumble, Fish, Real Big Fish, or whatever all those are, when you get on these apps, what do you have to deal with every day? There's got to be something that you're looking and you're like, every girl in the world can't all say the same things.
So, yeah, it might be an overstatement to say every single one, but boy,
just a minute ago, you popped your phone up because you couldn't remember what the third thing that annoyed you was. You popped it up, first girl, all three things.
Yeah. So you're right. on these dating apps, and yes, I'm on them. Sometimes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out on that.
No, absolutely not. It's no, I don't know
how it is. I figured everybody was now.
A lot of people are. It's much more acceptable now, or accepted now, than it used to be. But anyway, yeah, I've spent most of my adult life on dating sites, and now they're all apps, and so anyway, so I delve into those from time to time just to see what's going on. Every single profile is the same. So I only get to see the female ones, which is what I set my settings at.
Okay.
So
it sounds like you're not quite sure if that's the setting you want to continue with.
No, I'm positive about that.
Okay. Just making sure. All right.
I am positive about that. I'm positive about very few things. I'm positive about that. And look, a lot of the
2018, man. If you're not bisexual, you're just gay.
Wow, that's like the 8th thing I've disagreed with you about today.
All right. So what are these things? So let's hear let me hear the typical profile.
Well, first of all, some of the profiles will say what is up with, apparently, like all of the male profiles have one or both of two things. Almost everyone has the guy holding up a fish. I've seen enough girls comment on their own profiles that say if you're holding up a fish, swipe left. And by the way, if you don't know, swiping left means you're not interested. Swiping right means you are. And then if both people swipe right, they match, and it tells you.
We know how it works.
Anyway, maybe not everybody does.
That's true.
But anyway, so enough girls have said, on the guy's profile, what is up with everybody holding a fish? I don't have any pictures on mine of holding a fish. I don't really
What's the other thing?
The other one is if you have a gym selfie or a shirtless selfie or something like that.
Yes.
Swipe left. And girls are, you would think, like, if a guy is good looking and
but that means he's
muscular,
full of himself.
Yeah.
If
So
he's doing that.
Yeah,
makes sense.
But
I
almost really every single one of them that I've seen mention that say swipe left if you got that on your profile, which is good. That's good.
So right now sounds like you're in right now.
Well,
because you're not holding a fish. You're not holding a fish unless somebody else is holding the pole and you're holding them.
I've held a fish. Yes, I am germophobic, but I've held a fish before.
All right.
And I have no shirtless selfies or gym things or anything like that, so I don't have anything to show off there. So anyway, because you were lying about that whole introduction.
That is not a lie. I'm telling you the exact truth.
Anyway, the girl profiles are so many of them are so similar. There are several things that are common. There are 3 things that I feel like 90% of girls say something about.
Okay.
1, They love anything outdoors. They love to be outdoors.
Ooh, strike one for Adam.
I'm not an outdoorsy person.
No, you'll be outdoors if there's a basketball court that you can shoot at outside, but you're not going hiking or.
Look, I'm not a fan of the sun. Okay, I don't like the sun. Honestly, kills you. It has some of the vitamin D is good for you, or whatever. But like 10 minutes of sun is good for you. After that, it's actually killing you. Look it up.
Aren't we all dying slowly?
We are
anyway?
all dying slowly, and the sun is increasing the pace of that.
Okay, no sun.
Anyway, outdoorsy stuff. I'm not a camper. I don't love going through the woods. I, for whatever reason, taste unbelievably delicious to mosquitoes and bugs of all types. Okay?
All right.
I can, if I go outside and do yard work for 15 minutes, I will send you a picture of my legs the next day covered in bites. Okay?
You need to get a hold of a mosquito guy or some kind of bug guy.
Yeah, my yard is bad. Anyway, so outdoors. They love to camp. They love to be outside. They love to go to the pool. Something also that I don't do. I've never learned to swim. So I know I'm an adult and that's absurd. I don't know how to swim. I don't enjoy being in the water necessarily. I love taking a shower and that's about it.
You know what else? There's one thing that you dislike, I think, more than swimming.
What's that?
Well, used to. I think you've gotten used to it now.
I know what you're going to say.
Dogs.
Yep.
Tell me that's one of the things.
That's the second one is everybody is a dog mom. Everyone has a fur baby. A dog mom to a fur baby. Stop saying that. Stop saying that because every one of you say the same exact thing. Okay? Also, some girls say you have to love dogs. If you don't love dogs, swipe left.
So you're telling me that if you don't like dogs, there's no way you can have a relationship with this woman?
No, because there's no way that that communication would be there or love would be there or all of the most fundamental important things to a relationship, to work. Yeah, one of them's definitely whether you like a very specific animal. Oh boy, that's probably the one that gets me the most. That's probably the one that sets me off the most.
I can tell.
I can tell. I'm getting worked up.
I love it.
I'm glad it's so cold in here because I'm getting hot.
Yes.
So I'm actually pretty good now. But so that's the second one. So everybody's a dog mom. Everyone adores dogs. Look, I was scared to death of every single dog in the world when I was a kid. Okay? Some of them still make me pretty nervous.
Adam had a dog when he was younger, and that dog
for like a month.
That poor dog got put outside because none of the kids in the house wanted the dog, and it just sat outside. And I was at Adam's house one time, and our interaction with a dog was sitting in his room looking out the window at the dog tied up in the backyard, barking and running around.
Yes,
that was the interaction he had with the dog.
It was a little puppy, and my parents got it for us. I'm not exactly sure why.
I have no idea.
It was young. We were young enough where it was just my brother and I. My sister was not along yet.
Yeah.
And so we were both scared of dogs, so we got a dog, obviously, and. So they tried to make us. We're getting way off of topic here, but I have to tell you this part.
Okay.
They, tried to make us, be around it, and I think that's why they got it to try to get over our fear.
Sure.
Right. So, but it was a little tiny. I'm sure it grew up to be a regular sized dog, but this was a puppy.
I
when we
remember
got
it.
Right. His name was Hoover.
Yeah.
Like the vacuum cleaner. Because he ate everything, I guess, or whatever the guy that we got him from named him. I didn't, whatever. So his name was Hoover. My parents tried to make us take care of it because they wanted us to get used to it and get over the fear.
Right.
Well,
right.
so this was the way that I fed. Okay, I would get the food, put it in the bowl, get a toy of some type. Throw it. He was on like a long leash or whatever in the backyard, a long chain or something. I would throw the ball or whatever it was far enough away where he would go chase it. He would run away. I would run the bowl close enough to where he would be able to reach it when he came back, and then run away myself before he could get back. And that's how I fed him because I was afraid.
That
of him.
is so great. Okay.
So
All right.
now, as an adult, there are some dogs that I would almost even say that I like.
Mine's I don't think is one of them, but
For being so young, your dog is pretty calm. And I'm impressed with that. Sometimes I come in and she's a little excited.
She's getting
and
to
stuff.
know you.
Yeah, but look, look, a dog that stop saying look, a dog that is calm. Like, give me an old, tired dog. Okay, just be tired and walk around. Never run. Never do more than a little trot. Okay. Don't get excited about anything.
You don't want to take him outside because you're not an outside person.
I'll
you don't
take
want to
him on a
interact
little
with the
walk.
dog because you don't like dogs anyway. So just sit over in the corner, watch the game with me, and we're good.
Be a calm dog and just sit there.
There you go.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'll cuddle up with you on the couch or something. Sure. Okay. I lived with a dog for a short time too, not that long ago, and I liked that dog. It was like the size of my hand. I could hold it in my hand.
That's not a dog. That's a rat.
See, that's what I would get if I got a dog. It would be a little tiny one like that. That's what I would prefer.
That's 10 years old.
That's 10. That's exactly. that's 10 years old. That's So yeah. So
All right,
look,
so
I've never been a dog person.
Right.
I'm more tolerant now than I was, but I am still not a big. I choose not to live with a dog for sure. Okay, and it's more than the being afraid of them in the past or whatever. There's so much about the responsibility and all the everything that goes along.
It's a commitment.
It's a big commitment.
I think we're getting down to the heart of
and
this.
It's
a commitment.
Oh boy, you are digging in there, aren't you? Yeah, and you're not wrong.
What is the third thing? What's the third thing?
The third thing is traveling. Every single girl apparently either travels all over the world constantly, which means you don't have a job or you're rich or both. And how does that happen? or love so much to travel and their number one plan is to travel the entire world and see everything they can. And look, it's a nice idea. Where do you get the money to travel all over the world? You know how expensive that is?
It could be like I want to travel the world by the time I'm 70.
But for most, it's not.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, for most, they want to travel now.
They're ready to go.
They want to travel now, and they want to keep traveling, and that's very important to them. It's so important that most of the girls on their profiles talk about how interested they are in traveling. I'm not that interested in traveling, especially out of the country. I would if the price was right and the safety was right. That's the number one thing, really. If everything lined up perfectly and I had the full plan,
so
and
if
the
we
itinerary,
can get a wormhole that'll just shoot you from right here directly over to wherever they want to travel to, might be okay.
I might be willing to do that. But look, I'm not. If I'm going to have to save my money for a whole year or 2 or 3 to go on this big European vacation, do you know how many things I would rather use that money for than that? I mean, the list is endless.
I hear you.
Someday I'm probably going to travel out of the country, and it's probably going to be with some lady that wants me to travel out of the country with her. But I'm just not that gung-ho about it.
So ladies, if you're out there and Adam's a good-looking guy, you can find him on the Facebook. He's on there. He's on the Nosebleeds Facebook's got a picture of him on there. He's a good-looking guy. Get at him. Get at us. Get at him if you're not a dog lover or just a dog liker. You can have a dog, just a dog liker.
If you're apathetic about dogs, I'm with you.
Yeah. If the dog is not a make or break, then get at me. And let's see. So also travel, right? So if you could care less about seeing Europe or France or Germany or Aruba, if you could just hang out in the States, He's good with that.
I'll go on weekend little trips, road trips and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
sure.
A once in a while trip to California or New York or whatever.
As long as there's also not a lot of hiking involved.
Yeah, I can walk around in a city.
Sure.
If we're going into the mountains and we got to backpack and camp and eat bugs and and I'm not Bear Grylls. I love Bear Grylls and I love watching what he does, but I stay far away. I'm a city guy.
There you go.
I'm a city guy, and I'm just not a.
All right. So do you feel better now?
I don't know.
No? I wanted to let you get that off your chest.
It's you know what I did, and you know what? If we get a little reaction from it, I get a little feedback, negative or positive. Fine, give me a little feedback. I think I'll be good then.
Yeah, get some feedback to us. We'd like to know what you think, and maybe we'll say something about it next week.
We definitely will.
Make this a reoccurring deal. All right. So on that note, we got about 10 minutes left here. Let's go over what's most important to me right now. Right now is the NBA Finals. Mm-hmm. King James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry.
Draymond Green, obviously.
King James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. Like I said, the three superstars in this, right. The three and the best players.
Yeah. And the close fourth, right.
And the close fourth in Klay Thompson. So here we go. So real quick, just to let you know, I was wrong about the Rockets. I said the Rockets were going to make it. They gave it their all. Really bummed me out. However, I'm still going 100% with the Cavs in this. I think LeBron is going to find a way to pull this out.
To win the entire series?
They're winning the series, baby. Everybody's got them going down in 5 or 6, some 4. This is going to go 7. It's going to end up in Golden State, and LeBron is going to drop 45, maybe have 20 rebounds, and probably 11 assists.
You're a funny guy, and you love to joke around.
I'm dead serious.
Great quality about you. And you've said a lot of crazy things to get laughs in our lifetime, and it's great. It's great when you do that. This might be the craziest thing I've ever heard you say.
Wow.
Might be the craziest thing ever. Not the craziest. I've seen you do a lot more crazy things than what you just said.
Maybe we'll get into those one day.
Maybe if we can figure out how to censor them a little bit.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, so when both teams won their game 7s, and we talked about that last week, and I was so ecstatic. Both conference finals went to 7 games, and that was all I wanted.
The love of your life is game 7.
It was the love of my life. I would travel to Europe with game 7s. I would own a dog together with game 7s.
And I would camp.
I would camp outdoors with no tent. Lay me on the ground, have all the animals and bugs pick at me throughout the night, sit me in the sun all day long with game 7s. We got what we wanted. It was terrific. We can go over the game 7s, but anyway, the two teams that are in the NBA Finals right now are the Cavs and the Warriors. You picked the Cavs in 7 games. Is that correct?
That's correct. What do you got?
So the very first thought that came to my mind when Golden State won on Monday night, and the Cavs won Sunday night so that we knew they were in.
Right.
Warriors won Monday night so that the finals were set. I thought Warriors in 5. And then I thought, you know what? Just the way LeBron's going right now, and the hype is there, and he's just like, he's putting up these 40-point, 12 rebound, 9 assist
gaudy
games.
Numbers.
And they're winning mostly throughout the playoffs when he does that. I'll stretch to 6. I'll stretch it to Warriors in 6. After the last 24 hours thinking about it continuously, I'm almost back down to Warriors in 5. So right now I'm going to say Warriors at 5.5.
The Warriors are not going to play for 2 games at least. There's 2 games where they're just not going to play. It's happened every series in this playoffs.
I agree with you.
They just don't play. And then when they decide, you know what, This was fun. And they go out and they got 4 guys with 30 points or whatever, something ridiculous, and hit 58,000 3-pointers. Then you can't beat them. You're not going to beat them that way. It's going to come down to LeBron willing this team, just like he did 2 years ago and was unable to do last year. But this is different. He's doing it. It's happening.
You're right. This is different. It's worse for them.
They might be a worse team.
It's a worse team. They had Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. Kevin Love is questionable for Game 1 still.
Iguodala's not going to be there.
He's out.
He's a big cog in the wheel for these guys.
He is, but missing him is nowhere close to missing Kevin Love for the Cavs.
Sure.
Because you might get Jeff Green to play another good game. You might get Corver to get you 18. You might get J.R. Smith to give you 15 or 18. You might, but who knows?
You know what you're getting out of that.
You're getting 30 from KD. You're getting 25 and whatever from Steph. You're getting 25 maybe from Clay. You're getting
20 from Draymond.
You're getting 10, 9, and 9 from Draymond and 2 blocks and 4 steals. And you're still getting the meat of what you do is still there. Missing Kevin Love's a big deal because LeBron will not be, no matter how good he is. He can score 60 a game and they may still not win the series. He's fantastic. Everybody's talking about maybe he's the greatest ever now. Fine, but he's not going to be able to do it by himself. You have to have 2, 3, at least 4, maybe 4 other guys that have really good series, not just one guy that has a good game in Game 1, one guy that has a good game in Game 2. You have to have everybody. They have to play defense. They have to be a lot more consistent. They held the Celtics to 79 points in Game 7, and a lot of that was because the Celtics shot the ball terribly. But they turned up their defense a little bit because they knew they had to. If they can do that, if they play their best defense ever for this team, they're still probably not going to beat as good as Golden State is offensively.
Yeah.
And having said that, what you said I agree with. And that's what I worry about because Golden State looked as bad as they have really almost all year in that series against the Rockets.
Yeah.
And in the first half of Game 7, they were terrible.
Yeah.
They looked terrible. They had their regular third quarter.
And that's what did it.
And then they held on.
They held on.
Yeah.
So what do you do to stop? We only got a few minutes left here. So what do you do to stop that third quarter? How do you stop this? And it's every single game. What do you do to stop because that's going to be for the Cavs, that's what you're going to have to do. You can't let them come out and drop 45 or 40 in the third quarter, or 35 like they've been doing, 35 to 40 in the third quarter. You can't let them do that.
Right.
So what do you do to stop that? You just come out and punch somebody in the face, or what?
I mean, well, the Cavs don't have a guy to do that, I don't think, because Kendrick Perkins is sitting in a suit on the bench, thank God. But so the Cavs don't have a guy that's going to get physical and going to change the game by being really physical and, making the Warriors back down somehow. What's going to do that? What's going to make them not have that kind of a third quarter is if they have a great first half. Because a lot of times they have even sometimes a decent or a good first half, but they know they're a lot better than that. So they go in and talk about it and make an adjustment here or there or whatever, and just reset. And then they come out and they're like, okay, now it's time to turn it on. Like you said, they kind of turn it on and off when they want to.
They do.
And in the third quarter, that's really, I feel like, when they decide to really get going. So I don't think the Cavs stop them from having a quarter like that, really, in any quarter they want to. Now, they're going to have a bad game or a bad quarter. They're not going to shoot, they're not going to have a Rockets type meltdown as far as shooting goes in that Game 7, but
27 straight missed threes.
That'll never happen again in the James Harden Rockets era. That will never happen again. And it happened in the most important game of the franchise history almost.
Yeah.
The Warriors can have a bad quarter and a bad half or whatever. They're not going to have an entire bad game enough to get beat, to be beaten, maybe even once, but probably twice by the Cavs. It's just, I hope LeBron averages 45 and 12 and 12, and he's incredible to watch, and they're closer games than I think they're going to be. But if they get swept, I'm not surprised. If they lose in 5, I'm not surprised. If they lose in 6, I'm a little surprised. If they lose in 7, I'm blown away. If the Cavs win the series, I will do something crazy.
Well, we're going to figure out what you're going to do crazy, because it's going to happen. So we'll figure that out for next week. And I want to also talk about next week why LeBron can never get that extra guy, or another guy with him, like CP3 goes to Houston and
LeBron had that. He had it for 4 years in Miami. He got Dwayne
Okay, I'm
Wade
talking about in Cleveland.
He brought Kevin Love on.
He brought Kevin Love on. He was able to get Kevin Love.
And Mike Miller.
Kyle Korver.
There
you go.
He brings guys want to play with him.
Okay, but they're
Guys
all
do.
old guys. No, he's not getting another superstar with him. And Kevin Love was great when he came over. Kevin Love was not Chris Paul. He was not Dwayne Wade. He was
an
not
all-star,
He
and he
was
still
an
is an
all-star.
all-star.
He still is. I don't know. We'll talk about that a little bit next week.
We will.
So, one other thing we want to get with you guys. So, me and Adam both play Beat the Streak. It's a app it's a Major League Baseball app. You can try to beat Joe DiMaggio's streak of 56 games. So, what we're going to do is we are going to post our picks every day on Twitter. Adam, you are at
Adam Schmidt 44.
I'm at Sick With It. We're going to post them there, post them on the Facebook. So follow us, check it out, and if you can beat our streak at the end of the week, if you can beat our streak, send us a screenshot, put it in the comment section, message it on the Twitter, and we'll send a shout out to you for whoever's got the best streak that we see.
So we have to decide what the end of the week is. Is it because we record on Wednesdays? Is it Tuesday? Is it Wednesday?
So it'll be Tuesday. It'll be
Okay.
Tuesday. We record on Wednesday. So today will be the first day. Actually, it'll be Wednesday. So it'll be Wednesday through Tuesday. So you guys will get this. Show me what you did for the week from today, Wednesday, through next Tuesday. Let us know how you did. If you can beat us, we'll give you a shout out. I don't know. Maybe I'll buy a pretzel or something at the next festival. So check it out.
That means I will never buy you anything ever.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. No, we're gonna do something. If we get somebody that gets up there, gets into the mid-20s, I feel pretty confident about getting them. I'll tell you what. If you continue to send them to us every week, and you eventually get the 25 games, we'll send you a Nosebleeds podcast T-shirt.
There you go.
All right, that sounds good. All right, so that's all the time we got for today. We're getting out of here. Thanks for listening. You can check us out on Facebook. Like I said, we're at the Nosebleeds Podcast, Sports Podcast, iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, and CastBox. Get on there, comment, let us know what you think. We'll bring up whatever you brought up from the week before. I didn't post this on the Facebook last time, so make sure that gets on there so everybody knows. Comment on it. We'll get this thing moving, and
Spread the word.
spread
Tell
the
people
word.
about
Yeah,
it.
let people know. Definitely let them know if you think we're goofy and you think it's funny. If you think it's educational, sports wise. It's not educational, but sports wise, maybe. Maybe we don't know what we're talking about, and you just want somebody to listen to a couple of dummies. I don't know. Spread it around. Let us know what you think, and we appreciate it. We appreciate everything you guys listen to us, and keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So for Adam Schmidt, I am Chris Witt. We are the Nosebleeds. Don't forget to turn your lights on.
Do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once? I